hey, that was really good. Pay attention to that. Try and do that yourself. That's what we're looking for here. And teamwork, positives and negatives, highlighting both. That's basically what we're doing. And we're just going to go through and pause when we need to talk about something and watch it again and go through until, an hour or so happens up or people got to go or whatever.
Yeah.
Does anyone have
Welcome
any
Hey,
to
questions?
the third film
Yep.
night. We will record this and put it up on YouTube after, so if people have to leave early or anything else, we will have it up. It'll probably be on the Idaho Armored Combat channel. And yeah, like what Kyle was saying, we'll just go through the melees, talk about plays, talk about whatever. Try not to interrupt or talk over people. Just be respectful and let Kyle, O2, and I do most of the talking, and then we'll talk about, we'll break it down and have time for questions and make sure everybody gets a chance to talk. So,
Just a reminder, I'm the greatest fighter who's ever lived.
next to me.
all
Fucking
right,
trash.
we'll get going. So this is Salt Lake versus Idaho.
Yep. SLC 1 versus Idaho. Okay, so this is the one right away. See what Grant's doing? He's got two people right in front of him. So the two things to talk about here is number one, Grant getting two people in front of them and keeping them there. He's doing this on purpose, shielding his two teammates working on Will. What the two guys in front of him, and they're both super new. The one guy's fought like twice. I think Rick's fought like 3 times. They're side by side. They need to be a couple feet apart at least because if for nothing else, they might trip over each other. But the other thing is they need to realize one of their guys is getting 2-on-1 and they need to break off and help him because he's getting head ripped at the moment and they need to do something about it. But just standing there and having a staring contest with Grant, which is what Grant wants, is not going to win that fight.
Yeah, 100%. That was
One.
my main takeaway for this. If you're in a 2-on-1, and if you're not actively trying to get a takedown, you're wasting time and you're putting your teammate in a bad position. Because Salt Lake had Will O'Keefe stuck in the corner, and they were actively going for a takedown. And then
Yep.
our two new Idaho fighters, like if you're just stacked up and you're not trying to grapple, you're not trying to do something, you need to light a fire and get on it.
So right here as well, Trevor's back is open. So if Rick notices this and he can shut Grant to the left, he could get a shot on the back that would maybe get his attention. Or if he's really lucky, if he's got a heavy strike or a big weapon, he might even put him down. But Grant's doing a good job defending his teammates' backs while they work at the 2-on-1. See, right here, he's got them both tied up. They need to get out.
So
Yeah.
can one of you, Ethan, can you back up to that point where it switches to a one-on-one?
Sure.
With Grant and whoever's in the Hound School.
Right here.
Yeah. So notice what Grant's doing with that punch shield. He's ranging. He's keeping him back. That's if any of you use punch shields, that's a great technique. And I notice Grant uses it against me all the time. He's trying to keep you back or pull you in close.
Yeah, Grant's doing a great job just buying time. He knows his teammates are in a 2-on-1 back here. So the longer he can tie these two up, the better. That's like the 2-on-1 drill. If you're the one man in the 2-on-1 drill, your goal is to stay up as long as you can. Because somewhere else on the field, there's a 2-on-1, in your favor. And in this case, Grant's doing exactly what he needs to do. Keep these guys occupied, keep them busy, give his teammates time to work.
And he's not overcommitting to the grapple with them either, which is how they could quickly beat him. If he overcommits, makes a misstep, and gets in deep on the grapple, he might go down. But he's not doing that. Like Trey brought up, he's ranging, keeping him where he can see them both, and keeping him off. So this is excellent job on Grant. Then Trevor breaks off because Will's staying up, and he gets this throw here.
Yeah, that was
on,
a great call
Rick.
On Trevor's part. Will kind of turned into a black hole. They weren't getting much of a chance to take him out. His teammates' pole arms kind of blocking. He's got him in a hook. There's not much Trevor can do. So that's a great call to leave that 2-on-1 and look for an easier target.
Yeah, if you're ever in the fight and it's not working, you don't need to stay committed to the fight in front of you. You can back off and readjust. There's no reason to not do that. It's exactly what Trevor does here.
Yeah, and see this. So right here, I love this section. See so back up like 10 seconds. Okay, so who's the guy in the Hound School? I don't know his name.
That's Ben.
That is Ben.
Okay, so if you're Ben and somebody like Grant is throwing those blows at you, get your hands up. Don't just eat them to the face.
Yep.
Like whenever I've been fighting, I have never taken a serious, huge punishment like that to my face. Mainly because the second somebody starts throwing shit like that, I put my hands up. Like, get your hands up. It
Yeah,
helps with everything.
And part of Ben's
Oh, they're
problem,
going high. You can go low.
and
I'm
Ben's
saying
new.
that
He's
just
in a hound
doesn't-
school, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that just in general. Like,
Yeah,
if
for sure.
somebody's really hammering on you, put your hands up. It will help.
yeah. And another thing we should have said: don't take any of the criticism personally.
Oh yeah,
We're
don't
just,
do-
we realize people are new. We realize, like I had no idea. So don't.
This is constructive. So
yeah.
Yeah.
We're not trying
That's
to
the
put
whole
anybody
point.
down. We're just trying to say, hey, this is an area we think could use improvement, and it's
because
not an attack.
we're all teammates at the end of the day because we're in the same region. So that's why
and
we're
I
doing
don't
this.
hate you if you're here.
I don't think he's here.
I think Ben is a great for getting in there.
Yeah, 100%.
But that same concept's going to apply to anything like polearm too, right? If you're in an axe fight with someone, if you just get something in the way of the weapon flying at your face, it's going to deaden the blow. It's the same thing applies. So you don't need to overreach with some kind of block or anything. You just got to touch it. It's like a light parry in boxing. You're just touching that fist as it comes in, and now it's not going to do the damage.
I do want to call out this throw here. So who's this Salt Lake fighter?
That's Wyatt.
Wyatt. So when you're going, like, you've got the head hook with the polearm or any kind of hafted weapon, and you're trying to get a takedown. You see how he does a crunch and pulls O'Keefe's head down to his other hip and then throws him over the leg. That's a great way to go for a throw. Rather,
Squeeze.
squeeze him down into you, and then twist him across your body.
You taking space away from him.
Mm-hmm. And we run a drill at practice. Like, if you have a head hook position behind somebody, same general idea. You put a knee out and you pull him towards that knee and twist him over it.
I actually have a video for that. I'll find for the from behind head hook. That's perfect.
Yeah,
I'll find it for you. It's one of Cerberus's things that Bam Bam filmed.
Where'd you send it to?
I gotta find it here.
Okay.
Well,
any other points on this round?
Nope.
I want to bring up the weapon switch that Trevor just did. He grapples the guy. He grabs the haft of his weapon with his shield hand. He rotates him over and he lets go of the weapon with his primary hand. Don't be scared to switch hands.
Yeah, and this is what we saw
He
Dominus do a
grabs.
ton. They've got a nice light buckler that they can still grapple with their offhand or whatever the buckle hand is, so you can still get a hook with some kind of hafted weapon.
And boom, right there.
Yeah, Trevor did
He's
the same
open-handed.
throw. Nice twist across the body.
So that's why I switched up to that. Like, I'd been using one-handed axes since Nationals last year, and I saw that Dominus meta is a 30-inch hafted one-handed axe and the buckler attached to the bell of the gauntlet. And like, my ability to switch the weapons from hands because I'm not a striker. I've never dropped a shot into someone and dropped them that way outside of like a fair. And it freeing up both of my hands, like, I couldn't see shit this entire day, but I was able to switch that weapon back and forth with 20th buckler, and it fucking worked great because I'm pretty sure I do it here too for a second. Yeah, I shove him down with my dominant hand.
So that's why your typical steel bucklers are not that good, because you can't do that. But the strapped buckler like that, it's so good.
Yeah, and I mean, and it works for protection too. Like, all you have to do is basically try to touch your temple, and you have a fully protected neck, head, and shoulder.
Cool.
I'm trying to find this video. I don't know where the hell it is. I'll find it.
Anybody else have something to say? We'll move along. So we've got the next Salt Lake team and then the rest of Idaho. So we got Ryan, I believe that's Steven and Gunner.
Okay, so
Yeah, well, I've got something for the very beginning.
yeah.
So Gunner is also brand new, and he just had shiny object syndrome. Austin did a great job, blitz into the backfield. Gunner follows him, and who's this Salt Lake fighter?
It's Gavin.
That's
Gavin.
Gavin.
Gavin did a great job following up on Austin's lead, and just checked him, took him out. Yeah, so if you're a new fighter, and if someone rushes into you and your teammate is responding, you got to know that there's another opponent on the field, right? So trust your teammate to deal with the one-on-one, and you make sure that the field is, appropriate for you to change your attention or whatever. Make sure you're watching the whole field and all the other fighters before you dive in on somebody. Oops. I don't know. Is there anything else on this one?
Right here, just running someone into the list. We need to stop doing that shit. Everyone is guilty of it at some point, but it does nothing. You waste energy. What he could do instead, and this would be relevant if I can find this damn video. Ryan's got his shoulder perpendicular to the rail. If Gavin had gone wide, come up behind him, and gone for this head rip video that I'm trying to find, if someone gets you in this particular head rip setup, there's no way you're getting out of it.
Yeah.
It's elbow into the shoulder, across the forehead, and you bump one of the legs with your knee, like on the hamstring, and just pull them into a space. And
that's
one of my guys
practicing in soft kit.
Yeah, not one of my guys that has been successfully grabbed like that has gotten out of it. If you can get it.
A better potential choice for Gavin here, instead of rushing straight in to hit Ryan, take your time to move around back and get a rear head hook position. And then you can do that throw. You're in a way better position than just running straight in, especially when the list is here. And we saw a ton of these checks throughout this tournament working because there was no list for people to bounce off of. But in a competitive tournament, just running across and checking people isn't going to work. It's a real common new thing to do. I'm guilty of it.
So
could you actually rewind it to Gavin's first charge? Why was that one successful? Did he just hit him low, or was the guy unexpecting?
Austin set him up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. In this case, yeah, it worked. The check was great. I think so for one, Gunner's brand new, and he doesn't really have his feet under him. Not used to fighting in armor. If it was a better fighter, the check might not have gone as well. Gavin had another perfect opportunity to get a rear head hook here. The check worked, so it's hard to argue with what works. But I think a better practice is going for a hook. It's a more reliable takedown. It's safer for both you and your opponent.
I found it.
And you're less likely to take yourself out.
There you go.
I was gonna say.
Okay, I got to know about Gavin's checks right there. Follow through.
That's the problem.
In the first one, he follows through and pushes him clear under the list. Blam, all the way through. And then this next one, he just kind of bumps into him.
Well, Ryan was already leaning on the rail, so Ryan had nowhere to go for the check. In an open field, checks makes more sense because they actually have room to fall. But if you're just gonna push somebody straight into the rail, that's just wasting energy, and you're giving up initiative because now your opponent knows you're there.
Well, so this is what I was trying to say is I've had checks into the rail work, and the way that works is you check somebody really hard into the rail, and then you immediately head hook them and pull them.
You're using a rebound off of it?
Yeah, you use a rebound off the rail. I've done that multiple times, and if you're gonna do that, if you're gonna check somebody in the rail, that's how I'd recommend doing it if you're not going to just take the time to go around and do a reverse.
Yeah. I sent you that clip, Ethan, of the come up behind and halved across the face head rip.
Yeah, since we're talking about it, I think we should watch it.
I got a quick question. What is shiny object syndrome?
Tunnel or tunnel vision.
Distracted.
Yeah, you see somebody like Austin's running across into your backfield, right? Everybody turns to look at him because it's shiny object coming at us, distracting. And then
Gotcha.
everybody turns to look at Austin. They're giving their backs to the rest of Austin's team, and then Austin's team is in a great position.
So
Okay.
I will. We ran that really hard, like at nationals last fall. Since other tournaments we've tried to do it, it only works against like lower tier teams. Like, not insulting anyone here. I know we've been talking about like newer fighters. If a team has anybody like with proper field awareness, like the charging the one person in the backfield, it's almost ineffective. If you know how to just throw a kick into their ankle, typically that charger takes himself out. Just as a way to counter that play, just sweep his ankle.
Another thing, if you're unsure and you're still a newer team, though, is if you just keep your back to the list and just move with him, you're going to break your team into two sections, which is preferable to giving your back to the other side. So just stay near the list, keep that lead foot forward, rail foot forward, whatever you want to call it, and keep your head up. If you put your butt to the center of the list, you're just asking for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anybody have anything else on the last clip? All right, so then it looks like we reset, which is kind of unfair for Salt Lake, but it is what it is, because the list broke. And now we're in. Ignore all the tips on rails because it broke.
Yeah, so Ryan was doing a good job at first tying up two people.
Yep,
Yeah.
but Gavin broke off on it, so that was good on him.
To break off, he knew it was time to step off and do something else. That's great.
Yeah, that was a great call.
Keep in mind, if you're in a 2-on-1 that's not going anywhere, break off.
100%, yeah. And
See
So
that
right-
see that thrust Brian just threw?
Yeah.
I know
So I
he
got-
didn't do, but it's right here, right? Bam.
I think he just
I got-
caught a block and.
So something for Steven there if you want to go back. So Mike gets this good takedown, but when you get the takedown, there's always a moment where you're still kind of vulnerable trying to get your balance back. If he had lowered himself a little bit and given a hard shove, Mike would have probably fallen over this body right there.
Yeah.
He might have taken the big step and made it over, but there's a good chance that he's so close to that body, his foot would catch and he would eat it. So you would at least stay even with the opponent.
Yeah, right here when you see I don't know. It's hard to say how much Steven could see or not.
Yeah.
But if you can kind of tell your teammate's going down. Steven pushed a little bit, but now is the time to just drive into Mike and secure that trade.
Because this is perfect position to throw someone over a body.
Yeah, no, that would have been great. If
he even gave a little nudge to Mike, but he was worried about Gavin coming in. I mean, that's a good threat from Gavin too. He moved to distract Steven, and he had to.
Yeah.
If Steven would have gone for this takedown, maybe Gavin would have been able to check and knock him out. So hard to say, but yeah, if you've got an opportunity for a takedown like that.
There's another point. If you analyze what the opponent team does this whole time, and you see the biggest weapon on the other side is like kind of a medium-sized falchion. At that point, you may be like, okay, I can trust my armor more than I would if there was a pole arm on the other side of the field for the duration of this fight. So I'm gonna go for this shove and give my back and just trust my armor.
Yeah, this is a great example of why you don't go for open field checks. So Ryan cuts across, and Gavin just moved slowly out of the way, and then Ryan just.
Well, it looked like he was pushed out of the way.
He got hit. Gavin got punched in the face. Look right here. Blam.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was
So
a good
that
punch.
was-
So this is if you see your buddy coming, charging an opponent's back, don't knock him out of the way. I think the distraction was great, but it just didn't work out. I think if Ryan had slowed down to go for a head hook instead of a check, I mean, hard to tell what Ryan was going for, but that could have been better. In football, if you've got an open field block you're trying to make, you don't just sprint headlong into it. You have to break down, slow down to make sure they're not going to juke out of the way. Same principle here. Slow down when you're rushing across a list and you got a long field like this. And
if you're gonna back blast, get low.
make sure you can actually make contact and not slip past. If you got all your momentum going one way and you can't react to someone moving out of your way, you're gonna slip past.
Yeah.
And right here, if you see your, like, Steven had a chance for a head hook here, and Ryan took a head hook on the other side. So now both both Idaho fighters can't do anything because they're holding this guy up. If your opponent or if your teammate has back position on somebody, don't try to go for a head hook, and help your buddy set up the back hook, the rear head hook. I think a better play would have been if Ryan broke off to help distract these two, because Steven had a better position on Mike.
So 2-on-1, you're in the low side. So exactly what you should do is play bodies. It's most of the time going to be your best call.
Yeah, at that point, you need to get the bodies in between the guys you're going against.
Yeah, because you have to get a takedown. That's how it's the first. Your only way out of it is to just focus on one and just get it.
If you're a 2-on-1 and you're the last two left, just grab them and suicide. I don't know why this lasted so long.
Well, you want to be, I guess you.
Suicides can go wrong, and then if it becomes a 1v1 instead of a 2v1, like suiciding is very rarely ever the answer. Right there, Austin had the perfect ability to actually grab that guy's shield arm. Because if you can snatch a Pavis like that, just start spinning.
Yeah.
Like literally death roll their shield, and they're forced to go with it. Like that's a good shot from Gavin. But those kind of two-handed falchions, they just don't do enough. Like they just don't get through armor.
So this is why I have the same falchion as Gavin. That's why I use it to grapple more than I actually use it to strike. And that's the thing I was saying about Gavin. You got to be aware of the bodies. He took himself out.
Yeah.
But if I were him, I would use that falchion's long handle and do a head hook.
Yeah.
So these guys in this round, I think they go around in circles for like 2 straight minutes.
Yeah. I think the main takeaway is if you're in a 2-on-1, go for a combined grapple, and we got to work on drills to figure out a good way to get a 2-on-1 takedown. Because the more time you give the single person, the more time for you to trip over someone else.
We've got
so with
stuff.
that,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say, with that Pavis basically sitting on Austin's shoulder while he's like slow advancing at him, he has so many opportunities to slip his right hand under it and control that bot. Like right there, he should drop his right arm and underhook the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Like that Pavis is if you're getting that close, it does you no good.
Yeah. So since there's no rail here, this wouldn't apply, but this is going to apply 99% of the time because we always fight on a list. If you're in the 2-on-1 and you get them on the rail because they're likely going to go to the rail or the corner, it's a couple takedowns we've worked on where you are on the upside of the 2-on-1. And one of them is you each put a foot in front of your respective side and you're going to get an underhook or an overhook and pull. Or you're going to do the opposite effect if they brace into it. The other one is if you can force them to turn. So let's say someone's on the rail and you and your teammate are on either side of it. One of you needs to grab the shield or the weapon or something and force their back to your teammate and then push their face up so they can get an easy head rip. That's the easiest way we found, the lowest effort to get that person down if he's being stubborn and he's, just not going down.
And if you can't get the head rip, then if you've got rear position in a head hook, then go for the suicide. That's a way better time. It's a lot harder to get shucked off when they can't react.
Yeah, if you're gonna suicide in the 2-on-1, make damn sure you have the grip and you are locked tight.
And
because
call
if you
it
slip and
out.
fall, yeah, because if you slip and fall, you didn't do anything for your team. You're not helping.
Yeah, and just as a rule of thumb, if your mindset is I'm just gonna trade 1 for 1, you're not really an asset to your team. You need to be a threat to get takedowns and stay up. So just as a general mindset, don't think, oh, if I just take one guy out, then I came out even. Good enough. If you want to be on a winning team, everybody has to be a threat.
Yep.
You want to say that one more time, Ethan?
Okay, so
yeah,
Go ahead and repeat
Do you actually
yourself.
want me to say that one more time?
No, I'm just saying like that is what
For the people
you
in the
know
back.
we all need to adopt. Like that's a damn good way of putting it, sir.
Absolutely.
Always go in there planning to take down the whole other enemy team, because that's what I do.
Because you're the
I
greatest
mean, that should
fighter of
be
all time.
that should be the mindset.
All right. Any
If-
other points on the last round?
So
Nope.
I do have a comment about this particular round. This round is a great example of two things on my end. One, how not to do a hip toss, because I did it very badly. And two, not to try out new weapons at a tournament.
Well, I think so. For this is originally made as like a regional practice, regional meetup. So
Well,
Yeah.
in this case, it was a tournament, and I was trying out new stuff that I had
Yeah.
never used before.
that is a
But-
good point. Don't try new shit at a tournament.
But no, seriously, watch this one and watch for how I set up this hip toss, because I do it very badly.
And also, respectfully, with that weapon, man, like they're using those as a crowbar. They're not really using those trying to swing them, trying to like one shot hit people.
Oh wait, no, this is
Yeah,
not,
it's not a
So-
strike factor.
this
it's
is
a
not
pro- like
Let's
this is not the fight I thought it was. Never mind. This
So
is
in this fight, first thing here, Hunter does exactly what Grant did. He's in the heavy kit. He's the biggest guy in the field. He's trying to keep two guys busy while Jared and Colton work Mason over. Jared comes
God
in.
damn.
He should have
Yeah,
stayed up with
that
this.
shit.
Is that Jared that got that
Yeah.
hit?
Yeah, that's Jared.
Jeez.
Boy.
So
So
This
what
is a-
happens here?
go ahead.
Go ahead. So in the beginning here, Hunter goes up and gets the attention of the two people, and he holds it for plenty of time, which is great. Part of the reason they get Mason so quickly here is because there are two of them and they're whirlwinding him. He's focused on one, and suddenly he's grabbed by another guy. Sees on Jared. He goes to duck this rush, and he's just worried about two. Gives it up, and then Jared does the runner thing, sees a side open, and takes this. If he could have stayed up, that would have been great. But regardless, the end result is still a 2-on-1 to finish the fight.
Yeah, this is a great.
And that's a good check too.
Yeah, so this is not the one I was thinking of with the hip toss, but yeah, he wasn't looking. We should have focused more. I probably should have grabbed him. That's
Yeah.
one thing I was thinking about when I was watching this fight. Is I should have grabbed him.
If you got
One
a
of you should have
one-handed
broken
weapon,
off too.
So another rule of thumb: one-handed weapons, they're not going to get takedowns from strikes unless you gap somebody and break something. Like against a good dedicated opponent, one-handed weapons aren't going to get takedowns very often, if at all. Against newbies or Ren Fair fights, whatever, sure they work. But if you want to actually win at a tournament, use a single-handed weapon for what it's good for and grapple.
Yeah,
The
and
only
that's one
thing with-
every time I watch this, it's all I think of is I should have grabbed that guy.
Yeah. So
The
I
only
do-
thing with the one-handed striking is if you can get them to move from the strike, and then you go for the takedown off the movement. You're not using the strike to take them down. You're using the strike to set up the takedown because people react to being swung at even if they know it's not going to hurt them.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you swing low and they dip their head, now you snatch the head. You weren't trying to hit them the whole time.
Or you're setting up your team. You see somebody coming across, hit him on the
Yep.
head to distract him. Sure, that's fine. So this, I want to call this out. This is a great example of why checks are not ideal. This was like a perfect textbook. He's got as much room as he wants. Clocked him. Completely flat backs him. But we're wearing a bunch of armor with shit that gets hooked. And if one little thing gets hooked, you're going down. So this should have been an easy kill, and Jared not go down too. But if you've got all that room, you're going to have a ton of momentum, and you flat back this guy, you're going over with him. And
Yep.
so in this case, it's a net loss for the team, because if Jared had gotten a clean takedown, 3-on-1, now the fight's over.
Yep.
Can you reset it to right before that cross check? Because, and I just want to see if Talon is. So Talon is basically standing with his feet. All right, so he swings, but then he's standing with his feet just parallel. Try to drop a foot back. Like, try to actually have, like, something to brace.
Yeah.
Like, Jared just caught him flat-footed and just blew him into orbit.
I think that's a great point. Like if you're doing footwork drills, work on having a balanced stance. Like the big, deep, stacked, for duels. Like if your feet, one foot is way in front of the other, that's fine for duels. You can move in and out quick. But I think you need to square up more for just a general footwork stance in melees.
Here, so back up right to that, right before that strike that he threw, right before he ended up flat-footed.
Yeah, his hands are crossed up too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So right there, instead of throwing that reverse strike, if he just reset his foot position, one, he would have been better able to take that strike. But even if Jared hadn't charged him, he would be throwing much more powerful if he had reset his stance.
Yeah.
I think just switching hands is the safer call. But another point is if you're just chopping away on someone, there's probably a reason, and you're going to pay for it real soon if you don't pay attention. So something when we do sledgehammer work for working out as a group, you swing twice and you need to look around you in a full circle just to build the muscle memory of swinging and swiveling your head. That's another thing. Yeah, if you're just chopping away on someone, you're going to pay for it real soon if you're not paying attention.
So I do want to call this out. Trey does a great job of keeping one opponent in between his other, so Kyle doesn't have a clean shot.
Anytime I
that's Colton.
Well, yeah, it's
Colton,
not. It's
my
not
bad.
Kyle, but every time I fight 2v1, I always put one guy in front of the other, and I do that because I don't like getting hit. So,
like if somebody's engaged on you grappling hard and you got to fight to stay alive, yeah, move them in front.
Use them as a shield.
And another good point: grab pole arms. If it's so fucking annoying when someone just grabs onto your haft, you can't do anything about it. Another reason to use the strapped bucklers instead of
Yeah, and I saw this too as like a great opportunity to go after him was when he dropped his weapon, but whoever was holding on to me had a good hand on me. So.
Yeah, that's Hunter. He's like the strongest dude I've ever fought, I think.
Yeah, he had a good hand on me. I wasn't going anywhere.
Well, that was watch the next shot on that.
Yep. So if you want to pause it real quick, this is on the far left is Will Norton, super new guy. In the middle, it's Cameron, another pretty new guy. He's the one that the helmet came off of in this round, and then the other one's J-Dub. So I'm gonna work with Will. I've already talked to him on this one, but if you notice you guys doing this, throwing these flat strikes at the neck, we can't. We gotta just angle strikes because if
it hit his shoulder first. Yeah,
it did, but if we get called for it and a ref perceives it as a neck strike, it doesn't matter. We have to throw an angle.
That one looks really fucking close to just a straight neck shot. Like, I'm glad it hits the shoulder, but...
Yeah, it hits the shoulder first. That's why I'm wondering, like, how... Maybe it's just the fidelity of the video. I'm not sure. But it looked to me like he was going for a shoulder strike. But even then, I wonder, why would you aim for the shoulder?
But if you look at the trajectory of that shot, I think he's actually going for the side of the head.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't. It's just a completely parallel to the ground strike that gets him very dangerously close to the neck.
So something
like with that axe, would it be better for him to actually drop it into a leg? That's what I would think would be the better call.
So what we've been doing up here and what I think we need to do with all our guys is if you're gonna throw a flat strike, it has to be midsection. If you're gonna throw a head strike, you've got to put an angle on it because if a ref sees it and thinks it's something, it doesn't matter what it is or what you think it is. You're gonna get called for it, and that's just how it is at these events. So,
also, shoulder shot isn't the same as your opponent's. It's a height difference. It's a range difference.
Yep.
Just because you're throwing a flat strike to what you think is like the arm or the torso could be a dude's neck.
Yep.
And also,
a good point on bringing up the adding angles to your shot. We don't want to be thrown flat because every time we throw flat, we get in trouble.
Yep. So throw angled. Just angle your strikes.
Okay, moving on. We've beat that horse. So another point of checks. If the list had been here, check wouldn't have worked. 2, we weren't supposed to be checking people out of the rope. So I think he should have stood JW up because that was against whatever made-up rules we keep making up at events. But don't check people.
Will should have pursued there. He did scan the field, but in that immediate moment, he had 2 people in front of him. He could see he's got to pursue his guy.
Yeah.
Hold on. Back up a little bit. See that right in the backfield? You see that head hook, but it's a head hook push. If you're gonna head hook, don't do that.
Yeah.
You're asking for yourself.
Let go of one of the weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spencer has trouble. Like, if Spencer would just learn to let go with one hand, he would be a threat.
Yeah.
But he just death grips his weapon, and if you fall down, he goes with you.
Well, so that's why I was saying, like, if you're gonna head hook, you need to be the one in control.
Yeah.
If you're not the one in control, let go.
And go for that, like that one Salt Lake match where all 3 takedowns were just a head hook. and then twist across the body. He had a perfect opportunity to do that here too.
Well, and I think he tries to, but your boy, like, I mean, he fights like hell. He tries very hard to get out of it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Spencer's not the strongest guy on the field.
So I called this one because the helmet came off, and that's why.
And I think this is the right good call on the ref, because that's what's in the rules.
Yep.
If your helmet comes off, red card, you're done fighting. And that's the, like I was saying, that's the standard we're going to enforce at our practice. If your helmet comes off during practice, you're done fighting for the night, and you got to fix your chin strap. And we'll help you do it. And I've got a real easy way to do a chin strap. If you need help, shoot me a message. But we should take this shit seriously. Like, Boo Hurt League doesn't give a shit about the Simon strap. And I am kind of on board with that, because if you're relying on that, then you're not putting enough effort into your chin strap. That should be the primary thing.
It's your most important piece of armor.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the one thing that I do, and I do this just because of my giant beard, but something I always recommend people is, if you are ever worried about your helmet coming off, put two chin straps in. I've got 2 in mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
We should be taking this shit seriously.
Not to keep circling on this, but I didn't get to interact with that fighter. What did his chin strap break? What was the malfunction here?
It just popped open, and it's bizarre because he's been fighting in that helmet for months now, and it just came undone. And it's a nylon strap with a buckle. It's not some shitty leather or like historical chin strap. It's a modern chin strap. So I don't know what the deal with that is. It just popped open.
Kind of like a motorcycle helmet.
It's ACH military chin strap.
I have not had those don't really tend to hold up to this. That's the one thing I've never really liked those nylon straps.
So that helmet's been getting fought in for 2 years now, and it's never come off. So that's why I'm just.
Yeah, I mean, there are always going to be freak events at tournaments.
Yeah, shit happens.
Shit happens.
Yeah.
It's just a good learning point. This is like, hey, we're going to make an example out of this, because it is something we need to take seriously. You know, not trying to attack or call anybody out, but yeah, take your chin strap seriously.
Is that Mason?
Mason and Ali, yeah.
Yeah, you see how mobile Mason's being right there? Like, he's like, okay, I don't got the throw, and then he just keeps on. He's like, okay, we're gonna keep going.
Yeah.
That
was a great trip too.
Great.
Yeah. Fives caught me with that, and I was like, oh well, we're falling.
Yeah, I mean, that's rough. You had the head hook sunk in deep, and it was hard to slip out of that. But
yeah, as soon as I felt it start to go, I pulled that head in just as tight as I could and put down pressure because I knew he had me.
And you know, like, when we're the topic of suicides, if you're in a bad position like this, you've got a head hook, you don't have much else you can do, then that might be a good time to go for the trade, because otherwise you're going to go just take down. So I mean, there is a good time to do it, but you just don't want to have the mindset of, I'm going out there to go one for one.
I mean, hell, if you're going down, always try to take somebody with you.
Yeah, definitely. Grab onto something.
So something right here, you want to pause it? So what Mason's doing here, he's setting this up on purpose. He's trying to get the opponent split, and he immediately bolts for Hunter's side. It just so happens Ollie tries the same thing, though, and they run into each other. But if you're a runner, that's the kind of thing you need to be doing, because that's going to get you those blast takedowns. It works all the time. It just didn't work this time. So that was really good on Mason's part.
Well, and to be devil's advocate for runners, checks make a lot more sense in the open field, because you're making a quick play. You don't have time to go for a head hook, sink in, and go for a throw. You're just trying to go for something quick because you're putting yourself in a bad position. If you're going to go for the check, just make sure they've got somewhere to fall, instead of trying to check them into the list. Bodies are OP.
Bodies are overpowered.
That's most of all of our kills, isn't it?
It's the easiest kills you're going to get.
Anybody else have anything on that one?
No, just Mason's positioning was just excellent throughout.
Yeah.
That's a good video for showing that off.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a good one. If I remember this one, Grant does a great job in this one. He just mistimes this kick. If he had timed this kick a half second sooner, I think he'd have taken J-Dub out.
So
Maybe it
I do
wasn't
have
this
one
fight.
quick point. So if you've got multiple pole arms, Jared's fighting lefty. I'm not sure who this is fighting righty. You guys could mix up or what am I trying to say? Get caught up on each other. So either switch these two position or put Jared on the other side, so he's got more room to swing.
Yeah.
Just a minor thing, but
also they're not swinging when they have the range, and they should be.
Yeah, you need to be aggressive and initiate.
Because if you already have the range, you might as well start throwing shots, because what else are you going to be doing?
What happened here?
Well, so also with against the buckler and a Pavis, though, once you start throwing shots, they're going to block and close that gap. I think holding was the right answer there.
As far as polearms go, I disagree with that. You need to pick strikes very carefully because you only have 5 to 10 strikes around at full power before you're out.
I mean, I guess that's.
Well, then you're not hitting the pel enough.
I guess you're.
I mean, like 100% death shot power is what I'm talking about. Like,
the pel is God.
Okay, well,
that's a nice throw. I'm trying to figure out what JW did here for his throw. He
caught his right leg.
Caught his knee. It was like knee on knee. Didn't have anywhere for him to step across and pulled him down. That was nice.
So J-Dub's down pressure is huge.
Hold on. Look at J-Dub's feet. Look at J-Dub's feet. You can see exactly what happens. Yeah. He crosses his feet and he's got nothing because he's getting pulled perpendicular.
Yeah, I like that.
That's all footwork.
He also puts a ton of down pressure. J-Dub's a heavy dude, and every time he grapples, it's straight down. So
is this T here?
Yes.
Yeah.
Another example of the check.
Not working.
Yeah, just bounce him into the other teammate. He had plenty of opportunity to get a head hook, and then he takes it. But I think going for it off the bat is a better theory.
Good hip toss by Grant there. And I don't know if Jared did it on purpose. I haven't asked him yet, but he kind of kicks T's foot a little bit as he gets this throw. I don't know if it was an accident or not, or T just fell, but either way, if your teammate gets taken down, the guy who took him down, well, he's still vulnerable. Same thing as the Mike situation earlier. Try and do something to take him down with your teammate, because you don't want the 2-on-1. You want to be in a 1-on-1 if you have a choice.
Look at this great stay up from Grant. That's pretty slick. That's pretty close to being neck.
Just body usage.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're overpowered.
Positioning is king.
So real quick, and this is for me. Can we go to the beginning of this right at their setup, right at the beginning of this round? And this is because I want to learn this. So pause right here. So guys who have more experience with polearm than me, because obviously I'm just a freaking grinded out kind of dude. Why wouldn't the polearms be striking here? I'm trying to get this burned.
So in this situation here, as far as the T and Jared windup goes, the reason Jared's left-handed is because he has a buckler in his left. So if Jared strikes from his other side, he's going to get blocked. So he's trying to get his max opening. And T is waiting for him to strike at just max range so he can either sidestep that or backstep it and then close and grapple, because he doesn't want to get in a striking match with the polearm. That's just not what you do if you have a one-hander.
Well, yeah.
So in this case right now, you're going to want to try and use that polearm threat for positioning more than anything. Whether or not that's what they were trying to do here, I don't know. But to me in melees, if you can use the threat of the polearm to get a better position, you're using 0 energy and you're gaining position on someone. So if Jared had rotated to the right, he'd opened that back up. That's what I think he should have done here.
Oh, I see. Because the way I'm seeing it, I'm like, they're threatening, but obviously these guys up front are not worried about that at all.
Yeah.
So
generally with the polearm, they're slow enough that if you see it coming, you're gonna have time to block it and then time to move in and take away their initiative. So you're still really only gonna get strike takedowns if you can gap or hit them in the kidney. You're not gonna get takedowns just by bonking them in the head when they can see it coming. On the flip side of that though, I like sniping and trying to take shots with the polearm to bring them in, because I want to bring them in and then feed them a pommel set up some kind of throw. So I can show you some videos of that, but I don't think it's a good strategy. I just know how to push people. But
so there actually is a setup for that. If you want to show it, it's a quick video. It's like 1 minute.
Yeah, well, I want to see it just because as I don't do polearm, but I fight polearm against them.
Let's
So if you're in a standoff like this and you're watching them cocked back and you have any sort of confidence in your armor and your ability in your feet, the second that starts to swing, I would raise that shield and go into it.
Well, so that's what I do. So like in this
Right.
kind of situation, the second they start throwing that shot, I'm charging. Like
That's what you should do, yeah.
And that's what I always do.
So
I'm trying to see from the other perspective. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Well, they know that. They fight enough shields, so why would you give the shield the opening they're looking for to... Because, I mean, polearms are arguably horrible to grapple with. You know,
I love grappling with them.
I love grappling with them.
Hey, man. Kudos to you.
I've grappled with them before, and I've liked it. So that's what I'm saying.
I think they're less intuitive to grapple with. You gotta.
So this video right here, he wants him to come in. That's the whole point.
Oh,
that's
that
the case, and when you
sweep.
want him to do it. Yeah. Dude, I hit that shit all the time because if you get too aggressive on someone who knows what they're doing with a polearm, they're gonna hit that on you.
Yeah, I can do that with my sword.
Yeah,
we can do that with our swords.
So if you let this play, he breaks it down slowly too. This is a great video.
We did a little seminar at Carolina Carnage with the White Company, and he was talking about ways to grapple with the polearm. And there's a lot of potential there. I think putting in some work, you can be a good grappler with the polearm, but it's just not as intuitive as head rip and twist.
Hey, can you send me this video?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
We don't spend too much longer on polearms. We only got 10 minutes to get through the rest of the melees.
I just want to check this out, but yeah, we can keep going. Right.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, this is a great video. Warlord Flanker's got some good stuff.
Yeah, Sean's a nice dude too, so you can message him if you have questions on polearm, and he'll talk to you about it.
Okay, so remember that video about the shitty trip?
You skipped a fight, sir.
Did I?
Yeah.
Go too far.
Yeah.
No, that was the same fight we were doing, wasn't it?
No, because this is a different lineup.
Yeah, my bad.
The weapons change.
Okay, this is the one I was talking about with Grant. If he had timed that a second sooner, that was amazing. That center protection of his flank, or teammate, that is great. Because he sees the opening, J-Dub's not looking. If he had timed that a second sooner, I think he'd have had him.
Yeah, that was just kind of bad luck, but yeah, I like that play.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Great break off to go for somebody's head. Especially because you know Trevor's just going to walk at you, so...
Or just try to shove the three of you down because I couldn't do shit.
Hey, Trevor
I tried, man.
Every once in a while, I've seen him do it.
I'm just pissed off that my greave caught my greave. Like, boop.
Oh, yeah. Got all twisted up.
But what Trevor did here, what I think Trevor was trying to do here that almost worked, would have been amazing. He's getting pushed really hard by someone lower than him, so he's trying to turn and hip toss him and use his own momentum against him and even the odds. It just didn't quite work out. But just shoving back against someone is not how you beat them. You've got to use their energy against them.
Well, I knew that there was a pile of bodies there, so with him driving back, I was trying to yeet him over the bodies. But I was also confident that Wyatt was still up, so I was very confused when that was done. But I couldn't see shit what was going on anyway, you know.
J-Dub strikes again, dude.
Yeah, man.
His head rips are real miserable to get caught in. If he gets over your head, you're in trouble.
Yeah, so
I didn't get a chance to fight him, man. Like, he's looking really good. You guys should be very proud of the work you're putting in.
I wish he would go to the gym.
This is the fight where I tried to hip toss on Will and fucked it up badly. So if
Will's
you want to watch
squirrely, man. He's hard to throw.
I felt it the second I threw it that I did it bad.
Okay, so you can't really see it, but what he did to you is basically that polearm reversal.
Yeah, so he did the polearm reversal. The reason it didn't work is because his gauntlet came off.
Yeah.
But I watched it from another angle. It was a textbook throw, and it was that pull-arm reversal. He did it straight to me.
Yep.
And I knew the second he stepped to try to throw him that I was in a bad position. I knew it the second I did it.
I think I'm going too far.
And if you watch Mason as Ryan charges in, he sidesteps and gets him in the back shoulder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Whack!
that was great.
Ow. Lateral movement. If you guys aren't drilling lateral movement, you need to be, because moving in a circle is way better than moving straight backwards. Especially if you got runners. If you have anyone who's considered a runner, you need to do lateral movement, not forward and back. So it pushes you. It will give you so many openings, trips, strikes, everything. It's kind of the only. I think it's a big reason why Jared caught up to us, because last year at this time we were kicking the shit out of Jared. He was like not hanging with anybody, and then we made him drill lateral movement, and he just started clicking with him. You know, you see runners doing that stuff. There's a reason.
What happened to checking people out of the list?
Okay, so to be fair, I've had plenty of success checking people. So,
well, you're a goddamn massive mongoloid, so
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
in that particular sense, as has been said to me, that check was a great check if there was a list there, but they sat me down because there was not.
yeah. This is just kind of a black hole of.
Does Jake swing that axe this entire tournament?
Nope.
Anyway,
I don't think so.
Can you start that last one over again? I just want to see, other than my check, I want to see what else was going on.
Not much.
A lot of runners dancing.
Yeah.
There was running.
Yeah, I guess not a whole lot. Nothing really notable. Okay.
I just go into.
Gonna beat the dead horse again. If you're fighting someone and they have a shield or a buckler on the side your blade is, you need to switch hands.
For all you polearm users. So here's a question that goes out to the masses, and I just saw it happen in this fight. If you need to change your positioning for any reason, I really love the. If you are going to switch position, go behind the person next to you. Don't go to the side or directly in front of them.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Yes.
Because I've noticed several times that whenever we've been in the lineup and I've needed to change position, or somebody else has needed to be changed position, then we get kind of tangled up for a second, and that usually is just asking for a charge.
Yeah. Just put a hand on
Also,
your teammate, you know?
Talk to the guy beside you. Yeah, put a hand on him, talk to him. Let them know what you're doing.
Because I think it happened right at the beginning, and that's such an excellent point.
So the game plan here was for J-Dub to go after Steven, and Steven kept changing position, so J-Dub just adapted to it and slid across the field. And this is a teamwork sport, you know. You see a lot of teams that don't talk to each other at all in there, and it's not how you win. You need to talk and communicate, whether it's just like a touch or body language or speaking, but you got to talk to your teammates.
Yeah, that was...
that's J-Dub with the shield, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
he works with Jared fucking great.
I want to see the positioning change up.
Okay, so back a little more.
And he gives him a touch.
Right. Yep. And then Colton as well.
And he gives him a touch. Yep.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, that was great fucking round for J-Dub. Good field awareness.
And then I like that.
Yeah.
Well, and Jared helping him with like the takedown, like jumping up and helping him drive down.
Yeah. That was great.
Boop.
Yeah, Colton and J-Dub over there on the right, those guys work together super well, and Jared and J-Dub too.
Oh shit, is that Colton with J-Dub? That's what I meant. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. The three of these guys work really, really well together. Wherever, you know, they're I don't like it practice, so
yeah,
they just know how to play off each other. So this is Ron and Ryan, Ben on one side, and then it's me, Clark, and Colton on the other side.
He's Tyson, get out of the way.
Someone's chewing you up with a polearm, get out or get in. Don't stay in his range.
Yep.
Get out or get in.
Don't just stand there and take it.
So he goes down because he caught himself on the polearm here, which is you're down.
Yep.
In case you didn't know. Ryan in this fight does a really great job, if you want to go back kind of to the beginning, of shielding his teammate. So his teammate's getting. I'm fighting Ronan here, and I'm just getting the better of him with the sword. Ryan breaks off, I think, 3 times in this fight to peel me. Which is what you need to be doing as a teammate. You're keeping your teammates in the fight.
That
Whatever that means.
fucking downporting dagger, man. That looked like it almost went up into the visor of the fighter on the right.
Which one?
Like when he puts his hand up and kind of pushes back. I mean, that's a. Is it right there? Right there.
Oh.
Yeah, so I have one of those daggers. I haven't started using it yet, but it's
just leave it at home. Just leave it at home.
Well, I mean, it's legal for the sport, but it's just one
That's
of those
cool.
things that you have to be careful about. Like that's why Ryan does that reverse grip.
I didn't even realize that's what that was. I thought he was choked up on a mace.
Well, he still almost put it through somebody's eye gap.
Yeah,
so
you have. That's
if the
why
dude who's been doing this for the last 21 years is still trying to stab somebody's eye out, maybe don't fight with it.
So notice that he's holding it in a reverse grip. It's because that's the problem with those. Like I said, I have one, and it's a good backup,
Jesus.
but you have to be careful.
The problem with it is that it's a fucking dagger in bow hurt, and we don't stab. Like
that was
the problem
Jesus.
is the weapon.
Don't
like that. Holy shit.
Yeah, maybe don't.
Like I said,
just put a little mace in your if you're just gonna want something to punch with.
So
Jesus.
So on here, if you have a list and you're in this 2-on-1, you rotate off it, bounce off it, or use the corner, but definitely try and use the body as a shield, like we've kind of already talked about. And if you're in you're in the up side, you're the 2 team. Don't get used as a shield for your teammate. Try and stay split enough to take advantage of the numbers advantage.
You can take a beating, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, I love Ryan. That dude, he will stand through thick and thin for everything.
Yeah, that's why we didn't grapple with him there. We're just gonna hit him till he has to come out. So Mason right here, really good awareness. He gets turned around, but then immediately corrects that. False.
Oh yeah, it was just
unfortunate.
He slipped on. Yeah.
Yeah, he just.
Well, and this whole field was sloped that way too.
Yeah.
So back it up a little bit. Just back it up. So one of the things I've actually talked to Gavin about, and this is something this is my main criticism of him this entire time. And again, we're friends, so this is nothing but constructive. But he's not committing to his fights when he'll commit sometimes, but he doesn't commit consistently. Like if you're gonna charge in, commit to it.
He's giving Jake too much space this time.
Yeah, well, exactly, and that's the problem. It's like Jake does not like to be in these grapples. Commit to it. If you're grapple.
If you're fighting someone that's obviously fighting as a runner, or especially if you know them and you know they're going to dance on the outside, you don't want to fight into their fighting style because they're probably pretty good at it. So if someone's runner only and doesn't grapple all that much or doesn't strike very much, fight them with what they're bad at. So with Jake, for example, tie him up. Just grab him.
Another check that did nothing.
I fucking love that he runs into Mike and it barely takes Mike off a foot.
I mean, Mike's as big as I am.
Well, so, and if the list had been there, another,
yeah.
This pissed me off because he's still squeezing on my leg. But anyway,
it was a good throw.
Back.
Yeah. So you got to watch Fives, man, because like if he goes down, he will full spider monkey a leg, and like that scares me for knees.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, besides that's a great throw, though.
I don't know if that was intentional, but it looked like it might have just been tied up.
Well, I was.
Well, no. So in the toss, if you see as Mike rips his head around, like I feel like he knows that he got, and he wraps the leg. Whoop.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's fair.
So unfortunate.
He's flat on his back and still squeezing my leg, and it's like, all right, well, I guess I can't go anywhere.
So unfortunate fall for Mason there. He played that really well though the whole time. He just slipped. Grant doing the thing that you should do with the pole arm as well, staying on the outside, out of a grapple and dangerous the whole fight. Before Mason fell.
But I mean, these two both know what they're doing.
Yeah, they just kind of help each other the rest of the fight.
I was teasing Jake. It was like, yeah, 5 saved your life.
A great catch by Wyatt there, helping
Yes.
his teammate. Amazing catch there. Sucks he went down, but he's protecting his teammate. He's doing his job.
Great intercept. Stay on your feet.
I didn't know Mason was in the fight.
Yeah, I mean, kind of beating that horse again. Like, this is a team game, so if it's going to protect your teammate, do it.
See, this is what you do when you have somebody's back. You grab their head and you throw them down.
Yep.
And then you drag the body.
Don't just, and you get hooked on it. But yeah, don't just check them into your teammate, into the list.
Oh yeah, this is the one where Spencer gets thrown into a pole.
God. Right, so going for the head rip there on Mike. That's a good call, but Mike turns into him to get out of it, which is.
I got him.
Oh, he did get it.
He eventually got me. I was trying to fight him, and I couldn't hold him for that.
But turning into him was the right call, though. That was.
Yeah.
You almost pulled out of it.
Yeah, you did.
I was trying to hook his leg actually, so he would come with me.
Nice call tying up the pole arm, so you don't just eat shots.
Like I said, I was like, I'm 2v1. I just didn't want to get hit anymore.
Yeah.
I'm already in 2v1. Like, I don't want to get beaten too.
Yeah.
So if you're in that 2v1 and you both have pole arms, step back and beat the guy to the ground.
Yep.
Yeah.
If nothing else, if it doesn't work, you'll soften him up for the grapple, but beat that guy's ass, because if he has a one-hander and you have two pole arms, you don't need to get in there and grapple him. He's got to come to you or just stand there and eat strikes. So whoop his ass.
I think that was kind of Grant's plan. Trey just did a good job of saying,
Yep.
No.
No.
I don't like this plan.
That's all this.
Please, no.
This is. I'm like, no, please don't hit me anymore. Just throw.
It was a
me
great
away.
trip. Grant caught his foot while he started backing up, just using his momentum and stopping a foot.
Yeah, it was a great throw. But no, I just didn't want to get beaten, man.
There's a couple more melees. I think there's 3 or 4 is all.
Okay, we'll just go through them because we're already past an hour.
Yeah.
All right. If I remember correctly on this one, watch Ryan.
So it was a little late on that cross check on Clark. Half step sooner, I think you'd have had him.
Yeah.
I think that's Clark, but just being a little faster there, that's all.
Yeah, that was me.
And right here,
Nick
what Clark's
does a good
doing.
job.
See, he's tying 2 people up. Clark's just trying to tie 2 people up. All the other people getting 2-on-1 in the background. Right there, Ronan, if he had just shoved Colton pretty hard, I think he'd have gotten him down over those bodies. But he hesitated.
Oh yeah, and that was that. I love that headshot you threw right at him.
Yeah. So this is a bad time to go for a suicide, because Clark, you've got good position on 2 fighters, right? Like you're tying 2 of them up, and so it was your team as a whole has way better position, and you go for the suicide. You trade 1 for 1, and now your team, that was a positive for your opponent's team because now they're on even position. So
I had a grip on both of them. My grip on Ryan just wasn't good enough. He's too experienced for a go down with that, but
yeah.
I totally get what you're saying. Yeah.
Because like when you're here, right before you go down, if the board state stays as it is, you've got an advantage. So the longer you can stay in this state, the better in theory for your team. You've got 2 people tied up. Your buddy has
got
a
a pole
arm. So just stay there. Rely on your teammate. Trust your teammate to help you out. We all want to go for kills. We want to get the takedowns. But I think keeping position in mind, like, okay, my team's in better position. This is not the time to take a risk. It's the time to try to maintain this position, I think, is a better mindset to have.
Yeah. I totally agree with you. Thinking about it afterwards and everything, I was like, oh, so excited to get them down with me.
Yeah.
Like you said.
And if it had worked, you would have gotten a double. You would have been a hero, and
Yep.
Yeah. But it didn't, and now we're all calling you out because now it ends in a trade. You guys are starting over. When you had
So I think
an advantage on your opponent.
another case of let go of your weapon with one hand. I think if he had let go, he wouldn't have fallen down with him. Maybe not, but
Oh
he
yeah,
held on a
It's
little
also
longer.
just a resolute example of Ryan's toughness.
yeah, and it was.
Yeah.
I think it was pretty hard because you gotta
He'd have been fucked.
you
Yeah.
gotta wait until you feel hit like Ryan going down, and
Yeah.
he just went down fast.
Yeah.
And just took him with him. So
Well, and to your point, Ethan, I mean, getting kills and takedowns is cool. Winning the match is a whole lot cooler.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
So that's why the common rule is just don't go down in the first place. But if you can take somebody, like you should always. That's why I love the original point of you should go into a match planning to take down 2, if not 3.
Yeah. So right here, the reason Rick and Will get caught in this is because Rick steps in too close without really realizing what he's stepping into. I think. And this is a new guy mistake. You don't need to be shoulder to shoulder with your teammates. It's often a bad thing, and that's why he gets caught here and why Clark gets the double kill here.
Yeah.
If he had stepped back and braced Will, he probably could have pulled his head out.
I mean, I think to Rick's credit, he was trying to screen for his buddy and not let Will just get hit with the pole arm, but he got too close, and it wasn't a good time to do that because Clark's back. I mean, Will was doing a good job keeping Clark in the way of the pole arm, so it was just not the right time to do that.
That collarbone shot, man.
Now you're a hero.
You get caught on the list here.
You just can't try to grab Ryan with one arm. You need 2 for him.
So here's another case of when they engage with Ryan again. You don't want to stand side by side. In this case, just strike him, split and strike, and it ends up setting up the takedown. Ryan goes for the rush, I think, to throw over body, but
now he's standing right in front of a body. I think that'd be a good time to keep moving. And I guess Montana was like not pushing him out of the rope rail, so that was good. There we go.
Hey, there's a fight that we skipped at 34 minutes and 31 seconds. It was just there were some good throws in there. So
31 seconds.
34, 31, yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
I remember this one.
Thanks for calling that out.
My fucking axe got stuck in your belt.
Oh.
God damn it, dude. That sucks so bad.
Great play on Gavin's end.
Yes.
He sees that, gets the rear head hook, and it wasn't a check out the list. Yeah, that was great.
Yep, that was perfect.
Rear head hooks are money. If you can ever get those, they are the moneymaker.
And he was fast on it. He didn't wait. If he had waited, that might not have worked. But he was right on it. Stayed on his guy. So
yeah, that was great.
That was great. Yeah.
Mike too strong. He threw his opponent into his teammate, and now he has to keep fighting.
So there's suicide.
Yeah. So it was, it's fine. It won the match, but Mike, did Austin call out he was going for the suicide?
No. In fact, when I saw him doing it, I was like, "Oh shit, I gotta get out of the way."
Right. So if you're if you're gonna go for the suicide, get a good position so he can't get out. Call it out so Mike has a chance to get out, because this could have been a trip on Mike, and now we're starting over. So
then you're tying it up, and
because it was pretty close.
I was planning on coming over the top, grabbing his head, and just ripping him down.
Yeah.
So
I think it's a fine play. Like, get the 2-on-1 over with and reset. Because if the 2-on-1 lasts forever, you got 2 guys fighting, 1 guy fighting. Your team is losing more energy than your opponent's team. So get it over and done with quick. I agree with that. Just the only critique there is call it out so you're not risking resetting the round.
So, yeah, who was it that got thrown in that one that got thrown into Gavin?
That was Colton.
That was Colton. Okay.
He's got a different armor set, but you fought him before. He's the one that ran into the rail in June.
Okay.
Well, are there any more to go over? Kyle, was the one video you just posted new ones?
That was just the one that
Yes.
that we missed in the middle because I was looking for that one throw just to like watch Gavin get taken out by.
Rewind this one. It starts. So I asked Jared about this, and Gavin went for a suicide apparently on this one. I don't know if that's exactly what he had planned, but that's why he goes down. I'm not sure what the deal with that is.
Oh, he hooked the.
Oh, it looks like he trips backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't tell.
He slides on the grass there, and I think he just tried to hang on to the buckler as he went down.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I was like, I don't know if that's what I think he tripped.
I don't think it was an intentional, just suicide.
Yeah.
I think he slipped.
Oh, okay, so I want to draw attention to something here. Something that I did that was really, really bad. Not do. So on the far side, it's Wyatt and me. We both have pole arms, and we square up, take a couple strikes at each other. I see an opening behind me, but they're turning. I think it was Gavin's back, and I was like, okay, I'm going to strike Gavin in the back, but they were turning. I shouldn't have taken that, and as a result, Will ends up eating a strike in the back from a pole arm for free, and I don't get anything out of it. I don't even get a strike back at Wyatt on this, so don't leave your teammates open like I did here, right there.
Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, don't do that.
It hurt.
Oh, I'll take this.
Yeah.
Is that behind the? Oh, no.
So this, what happened here in this takedown is he went for that sweep that we watched earlier. He tried to go for it. So what I did here is I heel tapped him in the back of the calf and pushed on his face, and then Jared came up behind him and like shoved him forward.
Yeah, so
Right on. Okay.
Trey for polearm. That's one thing the Y Come guys are talking about. You can use your polearm as like a push, an extension of your arm. That's what Kyle did here.
Big lever.
Yeah, so he's just pushing with his polearm that way instead of like having a hand push on a shoulder or whatever. So you've got that big lever you can crank down to assist with your throw.
And then stop his foot from moving where his upper body's going to catch him. And you're just breaking posture is all you're doing. This one looks kind of awkward. I remember it feeling kind of awkward, but he ended up going down. Talon keeping Jada off Mike's back there was really good.
Oops.
And Jada just gets a pressure takedown here, really. And then he doesn't back blast. He strikes.
I mean, that was a good strike. That hurt Mike.
You turn the volume on.
Oh, turn the volume on.
Yeah, turn the volume on and watch that.
Don't worry, I can ad-lib it. He goes, oh, fuck!
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if the YouTube sound is coming through. I'm not gonna fuck this fixing it. I don't.
Yeah.
He says, "Oh fuck."
Something right there though. He ends up getting a takedown before he goes down, even after taking that nasty strike in the back.
Yeah.
He ends up falling, I think, because J-Dub gave a helping push, but I can't quite tell, but
I got pissed from getting hit, and so I'm like, I'm throwing somebody.
That was me, good sir. But I think I took you down with me.
Yep, you did.
Is that Austin in the corner?
Austin, Colton, and JW are in this one here.
The black hole.
The black hole. This fight goes on for about a minute like this, and I think Austin stumbles over Talon.
Austin the black hole.
Shield came
Yeah,
loose
we
there.
gotta get him to be aggressive again.
Who, Austin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, being out of the game for almost 2 years will do that to you.
I mean, he's fought in pretty much every tournament we've had except Spring Nationals last year. Like, just he's been a lot more passive.
Well, I think his big thing is he's worried about not getting hurt again because he has been out for 2 years for an injury.
There might have been melees at the end of this before the final duels. I think there might have been 2 more, but I might be wrong about that. Because the last part of this clip is Jake and I fighting, so it's too far. Might be wrong, but
Didn't we have a melee where you fought with some of the Crusaders, Kyle?
yeah. So that didn't get recorded by our camera.
Oh.
Grant has them on his Facebook page. There's 2 videos on his Facebook page that if we want to pull them up, we can. That didn't get on either of our cameras. That are pretty decent melees, actually. I can find the link. They're pretty short. I just saw him post them.
Okay, yeah, we seen this one.
Someone posted them to him.
Okay,
Yeah,
we'll
here.
wrap up. Oh, we've got one more.
Yeah, I can stream these 2.
Oh, that's
because
fine.
they're on
Go
it.
ahead, go ahead.
They're on his page. Let me. Oh my goodness! Come on. It's not that one. Not that one.
Okay, I'll go ahead and end the recording then.